Hello and welcome, Capricorns, to your timeless reading. These are messages for you at this present moment in time. Whatever it is that we're going to get for you, messages you can integrate into your life and become the best person you possibly can be. Practical, beautiful messages that resonate with you at this time. So obviously this is for Capricorn sun signs. Also, this is for Capricorn rising or ascendant signs, and also Capricorn moon signs too. So we have started off with the foundation of these cards, the Star Seeds Oracle deck. We will start with these, and then we will, they will set the tone for your reading, and then we'll go ahead and get you some more messages. Let's get right in here. First one, Earthed, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. Oh, I love that card. I don't know if you can see, it's really beautiful. And the second one here, the Cosmic Heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. So already here we have this this idea of isolation versus integration, Capricorn. You're very powerful. Your manifestations are very powerful. You're very hardworking. You often see the world as work also, and that's something that you have worked consistently and tirelessly to shift also. The idea that things can manifest very quickly for you is something that you're really coming into. You're really shifting the idea of being earthy. You're very grounded, earthy sign, but you're trying to utilize that, which is a really beautiful way of doing that, into a completely different way to be in the world. Let's get you some more information. This is a great time for a reading for you, Capricorn, for sure. I feel as though you are prone to ups and downs because of the understandings of I feel as though there's a lot of woe sometimes with picking up energy here. Wanting more for others, puts me into the energy of abundance. So yeah, there's a way of isolating yourself, and even the way in which, if you're working for somebody else or working on behalf of a family, I heal the habit of fear and embrace the habit of love. I feel as though you tend to work on your own, and to see that as a strength. You can work on your own. I'm the head of this family. I can do this. Or even if you're not, you tend to do this and sort of isolate yourself, and you hold yourself, you give yourself a lot to do, and you give yourself a small amount of time to do it. And I feel as though you don't always integrate yourself into the world the way in which you can. Because there's a distinct distrust with the world, and that's completely understandable. I feel as though there is this energy though where you already have decided in some ways, and this is a general reading, but I am getting the message, you've already decided that you don't quite fit in, so you're going to do things on your own way, and the way in which you've done things have been quite successful. When you work very hard for something, you do pull in those results, and like I said, you do take it upon yourself to do things for other people. Like, you're reliable, you're there, but then there's other times where you just can't even move. There's this understanding of self that you almost overdo it, and then you feel this sort of like disconnection. I feel as though you have a very specific understanding of devotion, and it's a beautiful excuse me, understanding of devotion, but it's not entirely possible to give the kind of devotion that you do without the integration into the world, or without the help from the universe. I feel like for you, it creates a little bit of friction in your life, a little bit of fear, a little bit of darkness, but you keep that all inside. I don't feel as though Capricorn, it's for you. You really don't like opening yourself up or talking about this stuff, because a lot of people rely on you. If you don't have your own family, then people rely on you in the office, or friends rely on you. And I feel as though when you take that apart, you feel as though there's not that much for you. You may also taking on other things, or doing things for the sense of loyalty, for, people need me to do this. You're being asked to find out and to really resonate what it is that you want, and to reconnect yourself into the world on your own terms, not on the terms of loyalty or devotion, but on your own terms. It may be asking you, the universe is asking you in a very significant way, what it is that you want. You do wanting more for others puts me into an energy of abundance. So you have this weird sort of dichotomy here, where you actually isolate yourself from the world, but at the same time you do everything for other people without really asking what it is that you want. But you want the best for people, but at the same time you sort of hold them at a distance because you don't always trust them, or you don't feel integrated or connected to them. You've made this way work for you. Again, you may be quite successful, Capricorn, in your life, and that's perfectly reasonable. You've definitely had your ups and downs, but even with the downs, you make everything work. But I feel as though your life is at times far from seamless. And there is a sense of wanting to go home, but not knowing where that is. So maybe there's an aspect of trying to build a home on earth, as it were, which is why you have this devotion and loyalty to people. Because you think in some ways they can provide that for you, but you're not looking for them to support you and to do that for you. You have this sort of this way of working in the world where you do everything but expect nothing. But at the same time, you have expectations, but you don't trust anybody to really pull through with them. So I feel as though there's a part of your personality that's always go, go, go. And again, if you are down, you don't really want to know why. You're not really going to open up. You keep that very much to yourself, pretty much because people expect you to be the way that you are. You're seemingly outside, very, very on the outside, on the external, very happy, the person to go to. There's something, you do hold the world. You do hold the answers for everyone. You need to hold the world and the answers for yourself. The World card is also asking you, I'm going to take one more card, is also asking you to get out of the box that you put yourself in. Again, I keep these in here on purpose. Means a new beginning, needs a shift in perspective. But because you've gotten the actual headliner card, it means that the shift is not significant. If you're at this reading, you're probably at the point where you've either already starting to make the changes, or you know that you need to make the changes, or this is resonating in a way where you're like, I can do this. None of this is a huge deal insofar as like you've done the work. You've not really given yourself the space to heal, or to really ask yourself what it is that you actually want. It's not just traveling that you want. I mean, I think a lot of you would love to travel, but it's a shift in perspective. You want different perspectives constantly. And while you might take on other people's perspective, you don't keep them. You keep them as somebody else's perspective, and you keep that very much in line and very much away from, that's your perspective, this is mine. The universe is definitely asking you to come back into your body in much more of a spiritual aspect. I'm not talking about like this sort of whitewash spirituality where it's like everything's okay, and you're not going to come from that, and you know that it isn't. But it's asking you to really sit with your intuition, and when you go into those spaces, to really acknowledge and integrate the pain that you have, and to reach out. Now, if you're not comfortable reaching out to other people, then you can reach out to the universe. They're asking you not to do things on your own. There's a moving prayer here. You have the devotion and the potency that you have in your lifetime. I feel as though sometimes you feel as though you are boxed in, and it's the perspective that you hold. You hold yourself very much away from the world. And this is what you have done. Not just for, it's not exactly from protection, because I feel as though you can handle yourself, but it's really because you don't trust it, you don't understand it, you don't really want to be of it. And this is the card here. The way in which you can learn how to be human in the world, but not of it. You can have what you want on your own terms a little bit more successfully if you really integrate the pain and ask yourself what you want. And remember to realize that the universe and the world and society are two different things. You have alienated yourself somewhat from the world a little bit, and you do keep people at arm's length a little bit. But once you reintegrate aspects of self, you will no longer need to do that. You won't have to keep people at arm's length, and you can let the universe in, because the universe honestly always has your back, and that's not whitewashing anything. Society, maybe not, but that's not the point. You're here, to be you, to fully integrate into a new world and get your new perspective, and to bring in all of the concepts that you have in a way where you're not boxing yourself in anymore. This is a brand new beginning for you if you see it that way. It does require you thinking and, beyond what you normally do, and taking away maybe that label of being that person for somebody else, and instead being that person for yourself. I know for a lot of you, you may be the go-to person for other people. You're being asked to step into the place of power where you're that go-to person for yourself. That's something that you've not done. And I think that some of you can be really cranky about the world and people out there, but I feel as though once you go within yourself and integrate aspects of the pain that you've never really looked at in a way that will connect you as a result to the world, I feel as though if you do that, you actually will feel better about the world, because you'll see much more beauty in it, instead of being like bogged down by the negativity that's out there. And also I feel like you keep fear at arm's length also. I feel as though you either work with it quite well, or you don't integrate it fully into your body, but you keep it at arm's length. You use it as a motivator, but you don't really deal with it. This is a strange thing to say, but I'm just going to say it, Capricorn. For all you Capricorns out there, you're asked to invite fear in, because when the way in which you're dealing with fear, you're not able to integrate it. You see it as something that it isn't. You're giving it more power, so you don't want to deal with it. If you actually deal with fear head on and you pull it into your existence, you'll see that it actually attributes to something else, which you can easily integrate, and it's over. You're being asked to sort of integrate it and see it in a new way, so you can move beyond fear and move into love, and not be necessarily so grumpy, or, not grumpy, but there's an aspect of you that just isn't always happy, and coming back into that happiness is about reintegration and just a small shift in perspective. That groundedness and that earthiness that you have, and that beauty where people really see it and pull it into their existence. Again, you're being asked to do this for yourself. It's just a matter of whether you're going to give yourself some time and space to do this. I promise you that you'll come out of this unscathed. It's really not anything big. It's just a matter of a simple shift in perspective, seeing things for what they are, and being really honest with yourself. And actually sort of, instead of having these sort of ups and downs, or doing things from an isolated sort of sense of perspective, coming into a sense of progression, a sense of integration, but again, very much on your own terms, Capricorn. There's nothing here that suggests that you need to compromise in any way. It's just a shift to make your life sort of easier and seamless in a way that it hasn't been before. Now, this suggests to me that you're ready to do this, and you're probably in the first steps of doing it. And again, giving yourself the same kind of attention that you've given others, or the attention that you've given others' goals, do it for yourself. And also, there is, for those of you who do understand this, you are from the stars. You are a light being, and some of you may be a little bit afraid of this knowledge, or the responsibility of it. I have to be here on earth. I got to be practical. I've got to do this. Again, there's a way to integrate all of that and not shift who you are. But there's also a way of working with the universe again, and making that distinction between the universe and society. But there's a clear indication that there needs to be some kind of reintegration, again, very much on your own terms, with a small shift, bringing back a sense of you, and having that seamless life that you want, instead of having those ups and downs. Okay, Capricorn, that is your timeless reading for now. I hope this resonated, and if it did, do let me know in the comments below. And it was a pleasure reading for you. And until we meet again, Capricorn, you take care. Bye-bye.